one thing was for sure. They both believed Sparks to be a total tool.
Be an exciting contest which shows that divorced couples can still have fun together, right?
Mythological hero H-list. C. On the spot dice spin.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
While looking back at all the stuff that I've done for Game Show Garbage, you may notice that I haven't really covered one production company, and that is Barry Enright. That's because a lot of their shows are pure classics like Tic-Tac-Toe and The Joker's Wild, or some are cult classics like Hot Potato, well, before they added celebrities. But what about a show that was bad to start out with, then got worse by added celebrities? Well, enter Bullseye.
This is the television game in which daring determines the fate of the player. This is the game of strategy, luck, and knowledge. This is Bullseye.
Bullseye bolted onto our screens in September of 1980. Hosted by Jim Lange, contestants answered questions in order to complete contracts. It may seem sound enough on paper, but in execution, it is all of the negative connotations that people say about The Joker's Wild and Tic-Tac-Toe, amped up to the 9th degree. Overly flashy set and big money can't hide what is a really flimsy mismatch of Barry Enright's other two behemoths at the time. I know a lot of people see this as a underrated classic that should have got a longer run, but if you take a closer look at the show, it's got so many flaws that it doesn't even deserve that. And one of those flaws, and I hate to say it's a flaw, is the host Jim Lange.
Now, here's our host, Jim Lange.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, you're marvelous, you're great, and thank you for tuning by, and it is true, I'm sure you know, this is a game of strategy, knowledge, and especially daring.
I view Jim Lange as one of the best hosts in game show lore, namely for how deftly he hosted the dating game and a personal favorite of mine, the $1 million Chance of a Lifetime. But the difference is that all of these games had a gimmick to them in their questions or overall setup. But you can't help but feel that when doing Bullseye, Jim sounded a bit bored. Doing a straight question and answer game does not give Jim Lange that much to work with. Also, it seemed like he was constantly repeating every little thing he did on the show, especially on Bonus Island immediately after he said the same info before the prizes were being announced. It seems that was always the case with Jim when he was doing anything with Barry Enright. He sounded a bit bored when Hollywood Connection was on the air, and that was just a lame match game knockoff. I guess that's something to look forward to down the road for Game Show Garbage in 2019, as I do need to talk about that show. But to me, what ruins the show is the game itself. The person in control hits a button to stop the 3 windows that make up the game board. In the top 2 are categories and dollar amounts, and in the bottom window are the number of questions that must be answered in order to bank the money, i.e. the contract. The contestant will pick from one of the 2 upper windows and proceed to answer as many questions as they can until they complete the contract. A correct answer adds the dollar amount to the category to the pot, whereas an incorrect answer passes control to their opponent. Also in that bottom window is a bullseye, which means they could run out the table if they want to by answering as many questions as they want to get to the $1,000 or $2,000 limit in order to win the game. Once somebody completes the contract, they have a choice. Bank the money and pass control to their opponent, or keep on playing and build the pot up until the amount needed to win the game. While it may sound good on paper, in practice it is fundamentally broken. For starters, the champion has way too much of an advantage. They could run out the category, keep control, dump off a really hard question in the stack, and then rally off 3rd grade level questions that are asked on the show to win the game. This happened more times than I care to remember, which made somebody winning the car after 5 games seem less of an accomplishment than it was on the Joker's Wild, Tic-Tac-Toe, or even Play the Percentages second format. Another thing I really didn't like about the game itself is that it's basically the Joker's Wild with a different coat of paint. It's the same concept, just with the entire game being under a strange amalgamation of Joker's big category and fast forward with an even flashier set that if we're on the air today, you'd probably need a seizure warning. I'm really trying to rack my brain to make this game somewhat fairer to the challenger, but in doing that, I would be breaking the core concept of gameplay. Then we get to the bonus game, and that is Bonus Island. Here, we get the same old trope of Barry Enright games of get X or Y before hitting Z. For Bullseye, X is 3 bullseyes. Y is lasting 10 spins or 7, depending on how late in the run is, before hitting Z, i.e. lightning. Hitting 3 bullseyes doubles the money and wins a prize package, whereas lasting the max without getting 3 bullseyes wins $5,000, and the prizes and hitting lightning wins you nada. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with this bonus game, but it's just a shameless lift once again on the Joker's Wild, just without freezing the windows. And that's why I hate the show, actually. It's nothing more than a Barry Enright show ripping themselves off and doing little to shake up their own format. If I want to watch the Joker's Wild, I'll watch the Joker's Wild. While Bullseye had the hook of big money, especially with the dollar amounts were doubled in early 1981, it had little else to differentiate itself from Joker's Wild. Same difficulty equation, same concept, but everything is just contractual instead of just paying out the money for each right answer. I'm just frustrated as what should have been a good third show on the Crown turned out to be nothing more than a lightning rod for it to be struck down. While Bullseye was bad, Barry Enright made it exponentially worse. How, you ask? Well, they added celebrities to the mix. I now give you Celebrity Bullseye.
During the upcoming weeks, these are some of the celebrities who will be playing Bullseye for their favorite charities. From Angie, Donna Pescow. Film and stage star Rita Moreno. From Three's Company, Richard Klein. Football great Rosie Greer. Actress Diane Ladd. From Barney Miller, Max Gale. And from the Jeffersons, Roxy Roker. They'll be playing the game of strategy, daring, and luck. They'll be playing Celebrity Bullseye. Now, here's your host, Jim Lange.
Good luck. Thank you. Oh, you're marvelous. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, and welcome to an exciting game of new Celebrity Bullseye.
Celebrity Bullseye is everything that made Bullseye not fun, but worse. For starters, most game show fans don't watch game shows for celebrities. They watch game shows to see average Joes and Janes win life-changing amounts of money, or to have a great laugh with celebrities, or to see a funny game in general. Celebrity Bullseye is not a funny game, you can't have a great laugh with it, and people don't watch quizzers like this one for the celebrities. This is the same tactic that both Mark Goodson and Meryl Heater used to turn around Password on ABC and Magnificent Marble Machine, and both of them died a death. Password went back to a civilian format and was booted a few months later, whereas Magnificent Marble Machine went to the bottom and stayed there. The same happened with Celebrity Bullseye. Celebrity Bullseye's problems were compounded with the format. The front game is played the same as the civilian format, but with a couple of changes. The first one is that it became an all multiple choice format. Now I can understand this one since the show doesn't want to make the celebrities look foolish by not knowing a simple question, so making a multiple choice is more palatable to them. That one I could give a pass to. But what I can't give a pass to is making the game now a best 2 out of 3 affair, where the winner gets to play Bonus Island. Here's the massive problem I have with this. The minimum that you would win from a best 2 out of 3 format is $4,000. When you get to Bonus Island, instead of giving out something more to go with the cash winnings on Bonus Island, it's just the cash you rack up. Ergo, you can win more often than not, but less than the $4,000 you won for charity in the front game. That's almost always never a good sign. No other Barry Enright game show did this normally without certain circumstances being met, such as Tic-Tac-Toe having to go to at least a third game or the secret category being abused. This could have been easily remedied with, instead of a best 2 out of 3 format, a 2 strikes format being used, or have something like a $3,000 bonus add on to whatever you want on Bonus Island if you got 3 bullseyes. I mean, just something to balance out the payouts, and that wasn't done at all. To make matters worse, there are some instances where it would take up to 3 episodes to finish off a match because of poor rolls, some tough luck with the questions, a big back and forth, or a combination of the previously stated. All of this made for a show that was destined to be out the door by next season, and it was. Bullseye would be canceled in 1982, and Barry Enright wouldn't try another show in syndication until after Jack Barry's death. The show had some promise, but a front game that was little more than lifting the big category and fast forward from Joker's Wild, a really lopsided front game where all the advantage was with the current champion, and with little substance that differentiated itself from other Barry Enright shows, doomed the show. I used to think Bullseye was a good show, but I got a lot of it in a recent trade, and the flaws were just so glaring that I had to give it its due on Game Show Garbage. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Game Show Garbage. I'd like to thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, leave a like, subscribe, and also donate to our Patreon, which helps out Game Show Garbage a lot and helps get out more material out quicker. Until next time, bye-bye!